Ruth McCrackin and Trasetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Hello, great day, everyone. Hey, welcome. Hey, Trasetta. Hey, beautiful people. How is life treating you? How is the day and the life is going for you, friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here with you as always.
Yes, indeed. It is a great day. You all come on in. We're really elated and very excited here on the Breaking Boundaries episode 45. If you've been following us, we've been going on a realm on talking about balancing your brilliance, and we're now chiming in on building resilience, and we're going to talk about that in more details in a moment here. But for starters, you may want to go ahead, as we like to say, go ahead and grab some of your peers, your friends, and if you're coming in and you're wondering who are these remarkable light beings that are popping up in your feeds wherever you may be watching live or listening, listen, I got to tell you that we are leaders that are just like you, who are on a mission to help inspire and wanting to cultivate those who are looking. If you want more details and more information, please go ahead and check out my profile as to what is it that we do, what is it that I do when it comes to high performers and high achievers who are looking to strive and really just pivot into the next higher end of their position in their career. But for now, let's go ahead and just what updates. I don't want to make sure that we just had everything tuned in, and I know you all have been following, and we are so excited. I definitely want to dive in, but I definitely want to make sure we kind of announce whatever that needs to be announced before we go into the content today. You with me, friend?
Absolutely. We have a ton of announcements, but most importantly, if you've been watching us the last few weeks, we've been talking about an
Yes.
opportunity to meet us in person, to join us live and in person in
OMG.
beautiful Tampa, Florida for Balance and Brilliance. It's a goal setting for high achievers, right? Career goal setting for high achievers. And we want to
Yes.
see you in the room.
Come
We
on.
Listen,
Yes.
it's going to be a very intimate event. So space is limited, but we don't want cost or price to be a barrier to you. So we kept the price very low. It's only $23 for you to
Well,
join
let's
us
pause for
live.
the cause. 23. How many of you all know that to be true? And when you're doing an intimate setting, I'm sure you all could put in the comments that it could be anywhere in the higher 3, 4 figures, maybe 5 figures. But we putting this out there as an olive branch because it matters to us that we often see communicate and engage with our clients individually in our VIP sessions and live workshops. But guess what? We're bringing it on home and actually being live with you
Yes.
all in Tampa Bay, Florida, because it matters to us that we get to actually engage and get to catch up with you all, get to be more familiar with you on a personal level. So you do not want to miss this because, again, we may not see this happen again. Do you agree, Trisha? I don't
Oh,
know about us
absolutely.
doing this again anytime soon. So you need to come in where you can fit in. Yes, absolutely.
What do they say? Today's price is not tomorrow's price.
I'm
So
telling you, that's facts.
right. So you definitely want to, if you think that you might be interested in joining us, go ahead and snag your ticket. Like I said, space is limited and some tickets have already sold. So we do only have a few spots
Mhm.
available. So if you think you want to join us, please go ahead and sign up. We have the link in the description below to so you can register on Eventbrite, and we would love to see you in the room. And then just really quick reminder, if you're watching us live here on LinkedIn, we
Yes.
have a LinkedIn page for the podcast. We want to encourage you to go and follow us over there. Help us get to our goal of 150 followers there so
Yes.
that we can actually do these live streams on that page instead of having to do it on our personal. And then
1,000%.
finally, we want to encourage you to, if you have a difficult time getting back to our videos and finding the videos, then they are all on our YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube to
Yes.
the Breaking Boundaries podcast, and you can get all of our episodes, all the recordings from these episodes over on YouTube, every single one of them, all
I
40,
love
what are we at,
it.
45? Yes,
Oh
all
my
45
goodness.
of them are over there.
Yes, you know what? I'm excited. I really am. Sometimes I'm taken back, even after we're hearing that we are about to approach our 1 year anniversary. So if you all
Oh,
been following us, listen, this is our baby. We want to help you break some boundaries, the limitations, start creating new rules, being able to find yourself to leveraging your voice. Oh man, we've been talking about leveraging your voice, a variety of way of mindset, how to be able to elevate in your career and in your business, and also how to be able to just communicate and knowing how to be mindful and be more intentional as to what you're looking to do. But for the time being, let's go ahead and jump right on in on the topic that we have on hand: building resilience. Here's the truth: nurturing mental and emotional strength for your career success, guess what? Matters. It really do matters. And we're going to jump right on in as to what does that mean to you? What is the importance? Why is it so valid? Or what is the new way of listening to leaders, listening to your peers? It could very well be your co-workers or your business partners on how is resilience playing a major factor in achieving your career success. So we want to start off and let us know in the comments if this is something that you are now also experiencing or now being more involved in understanding resilience, and what ways can that actually impact your individual journey when it comes to your business or your career. So let's talk about the full definition of resilience. What does that look like? What does it mean, Ruth and Trasetta? Why is this? What's the big aim around resilience? Well, the first thing, according to the dictionary, it's the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. Yes. It's also commonly defined as the ability to return to normal after a difficult situation, sort of like a bounce back from the big things that you
mhm.
may have been occurring in your day-to-day life or individual walk. When you face disappointment, how many of you all have been facing a lot of disappointment, especially when it comes to perhaps your life events that may have occurred that you weren't anticipating, or perhaps a job search that you thought traditionally you were able to get interviews within 48 hours, somehow is taking weeks, if maybe months. And also feeling defeated, feeling as though you're becoming, why am I feeling like I'm in this journey of failure? Is there anything outside of this outcome for me? So it is our resilience, by the way, that helps us keep going and finding a way to rise from the ashes. Ooh, I like that. And that's basically how it's defined. And we want to kind of help encourage and building that bridge on how to utilize this when it comes to your career success. So we're going to talk about that, what ways your skills, and we'll let what else did you want to add in the definition? I think it was pretty clear. Did you want to add anything in addition to that, Trisetta?
I would just say that, you might not be thinking about resilience as being important to your career, but, you know, not only do we face challenges in life, but sometimes we
Yeah.
can face challenges and disappointments in our career. Maybe we get passed over for a promotion,
Yeah.
or we don't get that raise that we want, or someone takes credit for our ideas.
Yeah.
And it's important for you to develop this skill or develop resilience so that you can overcome that and
Mhm.
still achieve the career goals that you really desire to move up in your career. So
Yeah.
it's just a crucial skill for you to have. Plus, it's going to serve you for those of you who are really desiring to move into senior and executive level management. It's going to be something that serves you really well,
Oh my gosh.
specifically at those levels of leadership.
I like that. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go ahead and maybe figure out what ways can you cultivate this? How do
Mhm.
you marry mental and emotional strengths around that? Let's go ahead and dive in as to what ways can take each of these components and actually apply it into their day-to-day life when it comes to their career. How can you become a servant or a practitioner by cultivating and number one, activating these four steps? Let's talk about one.
So it should be no surprise, right? It should be no surprise that the very first strategy that we would share with you around nurturing or cultivating
Yeah.
mental and emotional strength is mindfulness, right?
Mm.
Or self-awareness practices like
Yes.
ding, 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 meditation. You guessed it, right? Because we talk about meditation quite a bit. And it doesn't
Yes.
necessarily matter what type of meditation you do. The act of meditation is not about, a lot of people mistakenly think that meditation is about taking our thoughts, taking control of our thoughts and, like forcing our brain to stop thinking things. And that's not
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Meditation is really around the practice of mindfulness and just being
Yeah.
aware, right? Being self-aware and being curious about the
I
thoughts,
like that.
journaling, and then even doing a body scan meditation, not motivation, body scan meditation, which is essentially like, think about you. If you've ever been in one of the, like if you've ever had an MRI or anything like that done, where you're or an x-ray where you're having to lay on the table, right? And they're
Mm.
scanning your body. That's what you want to mentally do. That start at the top of your head and go down to the soles of your feet and just kind of check in with your body and see what you're feeling, noticing whether or not there's tension in certain areas of your body, whether there's
I
pain
like
or there's a
that.
lack of pain, right? Just touching base with all of the different areas of your body. Because, and you might be saying like, well, what in the world does this have to do with resilience? It's because it helps to cultivate that ability
Oh my
to
gosh.
know thyself,
Yes. Oh, I like that.
right? To
Yes.
be able to know yourself, recognize when you are out of balance, recognize when you're under pressure, when you're under stress, when you're under strain,
Yeah.
because then when you recognize that it's present, that can help you to put into place some strategies that we'll talk about later to help
Yeah.
you be resilient, to help you bounce back from whatever those challenges are.
I like that you mentioned that because we live in a day and time when a lot of our peers and friends and even clients, they come to us with stress and feeling burned out. So let's talk about some ways that we can help inform on stress management for high pressured careers. And it doesn't matter what level, to be quite frank with you, you can find
Right.
pressure in all levels. It always stems from the head, to be quite honest, and then you start to feel it all the way from the bottom. And so the question you want to ask yourself is, how do you be able to prioritize self care during that process? I had a client tell me that she just did 70 hours last week on doing some reporting for her C suite leaders. And I'm like, where do you find time to apply you in that agenda, in that arena? Because you matter. And so,
Yeah,
although you may have certain sensitive deadlines, you got to be able to set some boundaries where you want to prioritize self-care. And you also want
absolutely.
to be able to effectively do what? Time management. Yes, you might have projects. I was listening to one of my clients earlier today. She was watching a podcast on an attorney because her background, she works with attorneys for her career as a legal paralegal. And she heard them saying something about she I can't remember the term that she used, and maybe you can relate because I know you're huge on productivity, Trasetta. Blocking her tasks and items by prioritizing and maybe doing an hour when it comes to journaling, and then doing another hour maybe when it comes to studying, and then another 2 hours on something that may be more intensive that's going to require her undivided attention. So that way you're not consuming, with the whole point of this exercise or this way of processing or prioritizing your day and structuring your day, is being more intentional, right?
Right.
How are you effectively managing your time and not finding yourself consumed onto one project? What ways can you evolve? I feel like this will really be a great space for you, Trisetta, to kind of help encourage some of these high pressured careerists who may not know how to prioritize their time management abilities when it comes to this.
Yeah, the process that you were talking about is called time blocking.
Okay.
And it sounds like she possibly does a little task chunking as well, right? And so task chunking and time blocking go hand in hand, because when you're with task chunking, you take tasks that are similar in nature, right? They utilize the same type of skill set, such as like maybe you need to write a proposal and you need to write some emails and maybe you need to write a report, right? So you're doing all this writing.
Okay.
So
Like that.
you would chunk all those together, put all of those into the same time block, which would be like an hour, hour and a half, 30 minutes, anywhere 30 minutes or more, right?
Okay.
Of a time block. And that's what you focus on during that time frame. And by doing that, you've given by assigning tasks or particular types of tasks to specific time blocks, that can help you to relieve your stress, because you don't have to wonder, when am I going to be able to fit in all the things that I need to get done, because you've already made space for it on your calendar for you to get it done.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Another way to kind of manage stress is to practice some sort of relaxation technique, right? We were talking about meditation earlier and mindfulness. Meditation can be, the body scan can be also used as a relaxation technique. And what you do with that there is each muscle group, you kind of try and tense it up and then relax it. Right.
Okay.
You want to relax it. So you kind of deepen as you go from part of each to each part of your body. You want to like kind of like grab hold of it and then let it just relax. Right. And allow yourself to deepen. And by the time you get to your toes, then your whole body has kind of gone through this relaxation. Deep breathing is another way. My favorite, going to the beach, although we can't always do that. But these are the ones that we share previously, those are ones that you can do kind of anywhere, right? No matter where you are.
Absolutely. I can agree.
And then Ruth, what you alluded to earlier, talking about setting some boundaries.
Yes.
Right. Making sure that,
and I know that's hard for a lot of people. Let us know in the comments that, are you finding yourself hesitant to maybe reaching out and saying that, hey, I'm tapped out. I need to go ahead and tend to other parts of my lives, or other parts that's involved in my life outside of work, or outside of whatever the case may be that you're maybe giving more attention to. So yeah, setting boundaries is very viable.
It definitely is. And I'll kind of insert a little story here. Some years ago, when I was still working a 9-to-5 job, I remember I had taken 2 days off. I had taken 2 days off from work. And those 2 days, I had 5 phone calls from the office, all of which were things that someone who was actually working in the office could have handled in my absence.
Who can tell us that they are part of this storyline that Trasetta just punched you right in the stomach with, like, listen, that's a big pet peeve for a lot of people, but sometimes you find it to be the new normal. Why you got to be the new normal? What happened?
Right. And
it doesn't have to be.
But I recognized that it was my fault, right? Because I had allowed it. Right. I had allowed it up until that point. I had been working there for a few years at that point. But I came to the realization that I didn't want to do that anymore. And so in order for me to change the narrative, when I got back in the office, I then went to my supervisor and had a conversation with her. And I established some boundaries. And I said to her, when I'm here, I'm all in. And if I'm taking time off, it's so that I can recharge myself, so that I can be the best version of me while I am here.
Gosh.
So I'd really, it would be very, I would appreciate it if you respected, you and the team respected my time off. I was like, if it's an emergency, by all means. I'm not saying don't call me if it really is an urgent matter, but first try to see if ask yourself, is there someone in the building, someone on the team who could handle this in her stead? And then if not, then reach out. And then I didn't have any issues after that. Right. So then, and I set the expectation. I said,
that's good.
When you do call me and I'm off, because I knew it was going to happen, it was going to be tested, that I will, if I can answer, I will. But if not, I will get back to you as soon as I'm able to. And what I had to do was, the next few times that I was off, when those calls came in, even though I wasn't doing anything, I could have answered. I intentionally did not. I I intentionally ignored the calls and intentionally ignored the text messages for an hour or more before responding so that I took control over when I responded, as opposed to so that I could kind of
It's a
retrain.
relief. It's a
Mhm.
relief. It's like giving yourself therapy, giving yourself
Yes.
grace that, hey, I'm taking the limitations off of me where I'm restricting myself from not having my full day off. Like, why does it feel like I'm still doing the 9 to 5 on
Right.
my time away from the office? So I
And
love
how
the
are you going
fact.
to be resilient after that? Right. Because the whole part of the reason we take time off is to restore ourselves. Right.
Exactly.
And so how are you going to
Yes.
bounce back? How are you going to be resilient if you don't ever give your body and give your mind the time to rest and rejuvenate?
Yes. Let us know in the comments that you are definitely can relate and you've now become a practitioner when it comes to setting boundaries, especially if you're wanting to do staycations or just have a time away from the office to really focus on you. So let's talk about how you can maybe seek support. And I love the fact that I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what you mentioned as far as getting delegation. Oftentimes, even if it's just you in the office, let's be honest. Can this boat run on its own while you're away? And if it's not, let's go ahead and mark some of the things that are considered priority and then being able to bring it over to your manager. Like, hey, listen, these are the 3 things that I may run on a day to day. And if you don't mind, just go ahead and would you mind just kind of going through these and while I'm away for the last 2 days? So that way it's communicated, it's clear, we're both on the same rhythm. By the time you get back, you're not piled up with the missing type of work because obviously there was communication involved.
Right.
There was collaboration involved as well. And
And
let's talk
delegation.
and delegation. Absolutely. So let's talk about the strategies because now that we're knowing some of the stress relief on how to manage all of this and let's maintain this rhythm of positive mindset. How do you do this? For one, when you get back, I'm pretty sure when you get back from being away for a couple of days a week, at most on average, you want to practice gratitude. Let your team know, hey, listen, I know I was away. I appreciate you all stepping in, filling in the gap on my absence. It could very well be your peers who are doing your buddies. If you all have a buddy system at work, share practicing gratitude. Gratitude is an energy that you want to invite. You want to invite it. You want to make sure that it's in alignment with you because it shows who you are, number one. It shows your divine truth. And it also wants you want to dim the light on challenging negative thoughts. A study shows now we deposit 70,000 thoughts in a day. 70,000 thoughts in a day. So the question you want to ask yourself is, how many of them can very well be negative thoughts? Our brain is so wired and so hardwired on immediately thinking the worst case scenario. How about challenging yourself on removing some of those ways of intentionally thinking the worst case scenario into something more clear and more positive, right? What else do we want to be able to allow ourselves and kind of commission ourselves to do in ways to maintaining this positive way of being?
Another thing is to surround yourself with positivity.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I remember this is, oh my gosh, this is going back over a decade now. But I remember I was working this home health agency I was working for. I was very intentional with my office space. So I had, just like I do here, I had all these like positive quote wall
Yes.
art. I had a very comfy and cozy environment. I had really cultivated a space of positivity. And when my colleagues would come in, if they came to my office with all that
Yeah.
negativity, I would turn them around and tell them, take that back out into the bullpen. If you're coming in here, it's positivity only.
I love it.
And you have, not only do you cultivate that space, but you also have to protect it.
Oh my gosh. That's a
You
good
have to
one there too.
protect your positive mindset because listen, it's a lot of negative Nancy's out there, or negative Neds who will come and try and steal your joy, right?
Oh,
And you have
if you
to,
let them. Yeah,
right,
that's
that's
yeah.
the thing. That's the key.
Yeah.
You have the power to set a positive atmosphere no matter where you are, whether it's a cubicle or you have
Yeah.
a corner office, it doesn't matter. You have the ability to set the atmosphere for positivity. And then also be compassionate with yourself. Recognize that
Oh my
you're not always going to
gosh.
get it right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not. None of us are perfect. You're not going to always get everything. You're not going to do everything right all the time. So when
It's
you do
true.
slip up, when you do make mistakes or things don't go the way you expect them, or you lose your temper a little bit,
Right.
then give yourself some grace. Be compassionate with yourself
Mm.
so that you can stay in a positive mindset and recognize, you know what? I slipped up today, but tomorrow I'll be better.
I like that. It sounds like taking ownership and
Yes.
being standing into the gap of humility.
Hmm.
Really radiating that. How many of you all can say that you can definitely identify that you want to be the one to take the ownership and say, I'm going to be humble enough to accept the fact that I have some mishaps, I have flaws that I want to work on. And the reality is, how are you setting certain goals so that you can then celebrate some of these achievements? Because at the end of the day, if we don't set in the right mindset and really be clear as to what exactly you're looking to pursue on, what exactly are you looking to do? Build regenerate relationship, or do you want to, like Trasetta said, do you want to be that nagging Nancy or Ned? You want to be able to know if you're wanting to create an atmosphere that's going to allure positivity. Guess what? It starts with you first. Because whatever
Hmm.
whatsoever man thinketh, and that's my main. I love that old great ancient saying. So is he. So if you're thinking one way, and then you're wondering why are you reciprocating and receiving the same energy back from your peers, your leaders, whomever, have you looked yourself in the mirror, like MJ says? Have you taken a chance to look at you and then asking yourself, what areas do you need changing? And that is realistically how you want to celebrate your achievements, by identifying your flaws and then working towards it, whether it be seeking guidance, whether it be getting tied to an expert. Certain things we're not qualified to do on our own. And it's just a matter of letting someone to identify, hey, this was maybe some suggestions on how
Hmm.
you can improve some of your behavior patterns or remove some of these traits that you may not have been aware of until someone was able to ask the right questions, right? What else that we can help in contributing to practices when it comes to resilience?
Well, all of these strategies that we've shared
Yeah.
um, really go hand in hand with resilience, and you may not off the cuff realize how they do relate. But when you can stay in a positive mindset,
Yeah.
that enables you to overcome challenges more quickly, right?
Yes.
If
Oh,
you
yes.
have something difficult happen, or maybe you get some bad news or something just doesn't go right, and you allow yourself to go into that downward spiral,
Mm.
then it's so much more difficult to pull yourself back out, and it takes so much longer to pull yourself out of
Oh
that
my gosh.
negativity, out of that
Yes.
downward spiral, than if you maintain this positive mindset and you take a look at, like, okay, I have this difficult situation.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily change that it happened, but I have the ability to make the decision of how I handle it,
Yes.
because it is a choice, right? It's a
A
choice
thousand
on whether or
percent.
not
Oh, yes.
whether you're going to face it head on and go, okay, here's the situation. Let me figure out how I'm going to deal
Yeah.
with it, or go into the space of, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening to
Y-
me. Nothing ever goes right for me.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
always me. No one else ever has to deal with all the things that I have to deal with. And
right.
woo, 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 woo. And you're having this pity party, drinking your
Yeah.
pitiful punch, eating your pitiful cookies, and you want to drag everyone else down with you, right? It's
Mm,
so much more
mm, mm.
difficult to pull out of that than if you just look at things through a
Yeah.
positive mindset. And
It takes
so
practice. It
utilize,
really
right?
does. It takes
It
practice.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Right. So implementing these strategies, the gratitude, challenging your negative thoughts, surrounding yourself with positivity, being
Hmm.
compassionate with yourself, and setting realistic goals, and then celebrating those, all of those things play a role in your ability to be resilient and
Yeah.
bounce back from setbacks, so that you can achieve all that you desire to achieve in your career.
I love it. This is some powerful stuff.
Yes.
Man, the way you just addressed that, it felt like as though I was in dress rehearsal. Let us know, has this been really beneficial for you all when you're finding yourself to go ahead and just kind of go behind the scene on what things you need to improve? We talked about understanding what is resilience. What ways can you actually incorporate that in your leadership, in your relationship, even in your family or what have you? This resilience do streamline on every categories of your life. We also talked about how to even bring in your mental and emotional into balance, and how to basically break some of these boundaries when it comes to managing your stress, how to, take your high pressure position as that careerist and identify what ways you want to break some of these boundaries and set expectations, creating
Absolutely.
strategies, creating a roadmap that matters to you, that that's to be true, to be realistic. And at the end of the day, if you're needing help, why do this alone?
Yeah.
I work with amazing high performers, and some of them are burnout, some of them are struggling, some of them are looking for ways to really stand out as that sought after leader and becoming that top authority leader. And if that is you, definitely let me know in the comments. You can definitely take advantage of our free workshop at, I'm going to say it's join promoteyourself.us, and or just send me a comment and I'd be happy to share with you what ways we can see it could be a fit on how we can help you strive on removing some of the limitations so you can strive and standing out as that top authority. Anything else before we close? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Or if you want personalized hands-on support, come join us for Balance and Brilliance.
Come through.
Right?
Yes.
Because we're going to be going much deeper into setting those goals and creating a roadmap. Right?
Yes.
Creating that roadmap, a balanced roadmap, so that you can achieve your career goals without burning out in the process. So we would love to see you. It's going to be Saturday, September the 30th in sunny Tampa, Florida. So if you're in the Tampa Bay or surrounding areas,
do a girls trip or do a guys trip. You don't have to be. I have people everywhere. People will come to see where the value is, and let us have that synergy. Let us raise the vibration together. Let us come into an intimate setting and disrupt your current situation. Some certain things, if you're fed up, you may have to just release yourself from that and say, you know what, let me call a couple of my friends, call your guy friends or whatever the case may be, and come join us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be intensive. We're going to focus. We're going to give you some actual real live scenarios and activities that's going to help you prime you as to being that sought after aspiring leader or leader that you already are. And sometimes we just don't want to do things alone. You shouldn't have to. Yes. Absolutely. So I love the fact that you all continue to hang out with us. It's always a joy. Let us know that you find this to be truly beneficial. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us throughout this series. We're so eager and excited on what's up and coming. You want to be able to stay plugged in by subscribing. Go ahead and share this. If you find it to be super impactful, help us disrupt the algorithm together as a unit and be able to share this powerful message among other friends and other peers. Until next time, let's continue to breaking boundaries. Let's release. Let's start creating new rules. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCrackin and business strategist Trasetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.